Together West Michigan's first listening campaign in 2022 revealed widespread childcare issues, with families paying mortgage-level childcare costs, leaving jobs, and some childcare workers needing multiple jobs to make ends meet.
So in 2024, we advocated to increase Kent County's early childhood millage, the Ready by 5 millage, which was up for a renewal in order to fund quality childcare.
At the same time, county commissioners were asked to consider a hotel-motel tax increase to fund a new Grand Rapids amenities, like a soccer stadium and amphitheater.
Studies showed a desperate need for affordable, quality child care in Kent County.
I have heard from folks in this room and beyond that more study is required before this action can be taken, and I have to disagree. The Illinois State Facilities Fund released a report specifically about Kent County in October 23, showing that our county is 20,500 slots short of spaces for ages 0 to 5. The Michigan Chamber of Commerce study released last year shows that a lack of childcare costs our state $2 billion in economic activity a year, and that it called for action. The Kent County Big Sort, led by the county administrator last year with over 100 local experts, ranked childcare as the top concern, not just now, but for 25 years to come. This is a legacy-making issue. The studies are clear, they're real, and they are actionable. They're right here.
Publicly, county commissioners said that pandemic interference with Ready by 5 programs meant the community needed more time to evaluate their effectiveness before increasing funding. Despite 76% public support for an early childhood millage increase and over 200 residents coming to the commission meetings in support. Privately, commissioners expressed concerns about putting 2 tax increases on the ballot in an election year and how that could influence candidate campaigns.
The whole system is on the verge of collapse from multiple angles. An expansion of the Ready by 5 millage would allow voters to choose to put additional money to help fund this broken system that's the foundation of our entire economy. But again and again, both publicly and privately, you've said no. Commissioners, we're not in the midst of a sports stadium crisis. We're not in the midst of a music venue crisis, but we are in a childcare crisis, and we need you to check your priorities. Together West Michigan is not against more and better downtown development. We are for economic development and the well-being of families and children.
Ultimately, the commission voted 11-10 against voters getting the chance to increase the early childhood millage, sticking with a straight renewal instead. They voted overwhelmingly to put the lodging tax increase for a soccer stadium and amphitheater on the ballot.
But something shifted. One commissioner crossed party lines to vote in favor of increasing the early childhood millage, and the renewal passed by landslide.
Later in 2024, the same interest behind the stadium and amphitheater proposed a transformational development in downtown Grand Rapids, 3 luxury towers of a hotel, condo, and office space. Developers asked for a $500 million tax break, money that would otherwise go to the city-state budget for public good and services to reimburse themselves 76% of the cost of building the privately owned development.
In exchange, the developer was required to include an affordable housing component. The public soon learned, however, that instead of including an affordable housing in the 3 towers, the developer was only willing to provide $8.5 million in affordable housing funds to build that housing somewhere else. And that $8.5 million would be spread over 20 years. That's just $425,000 a year for affordable housing in exchange of a $565 million taxpayers' subsidy.
Our members were outraged. We met with city commissioners and the developer liaison, asking for clarity on the return on investment for taxpayers. Commissioners were uninformed, and the developer was evasive, saying the numbers wouldn't work for a larger affordable housing contribution. Our key question about this transformational project was, transformational for whom? The developer's response? Transformational for the land it will be on.
We turned out hundreds of people at the commission meeting calling for a better deal for the public. 6 of the 7 commissioners sided with the big money interest and voted the $500 million tax break through without more affordable housing.
But it wasn't business as usual. The conversation changed from rubber stamping another development to a real conversation about the public benefit for our public investment. And the developer raised their goal for contracts in the project for minority and micro local businesses from $31 million to $50 million.
The question, transformational for whom, keeps us up at night. When it comes to our public money, especially in development, who benefits and who decides?
More development that will ask for our public money is already being discussed. An aquarium, a publicly funded hotel at the DeVos Convention Center, and raising the cap on the same enormous tax incentive program that's going to be used for the 3 towers, the Transformational Brownfield Program.
Those are all things the local officials we elect will vote on. Will they make decisions that reflect our priorities or someone else's? That depends on us. Our members have some priorities for public money.
So I did everything they told me to do. I worked hard, I got good grades, I went to college, and I took every opportunity to give back to my community. I did everything right. But despite all of that, despite all of my effort, I cannot afford to live in this city. 5 years ago, I moved into an apartment that cost $1,100 a month. 3 years later, the rent jumped up by $700. More than half of my paycheck was going just to keep a roof over my head. I worked harder and longer, but prices kept rising. I looked for cheaper housing, but there was nothing. The only reason I was able to survive was because my sister was in the same situation, and she moved in with us. And then we had a friend who was also in the same situation and moved in with us with her 2 children. We became a huge family, sharing a space just to make sure our kids had enough to eat, and we had to make impossible choices every month between paying for rent and providing food. We are asking you, as our city council, to listen, to act, to invest in all of us so that we can build a city where hard work and dedication actually pays off.
And I looked outdoors and it's like Noah's Ark.
This was the scene that Tom Sciarrino found outside his home on Allerton Avenue early Thursday morning. A main break at the corner of Adams and Philadelphia here on the southeast side of Grand Rapids. The evidence of what had happened was everywhere. Cars that had been underwater earlier in the day, mud blanketing the street, even a bumper ripped off a car.
Older infrastructure like this, it could be a crack around on a pipe, it could be a longitudinal split. We've seen situations where top sections of pipe have completely blown off as well.
Developing tonight, there is another water main break in the same Grand Rapids neighborhood that had a major break 7 months ago. Now, 12 neighbors have filed a lawsuit against the city for not helping with damages from the break you're looking at last summer, which resulted in flooded basements, mold, sinkholes, and foundation damage. Their insurance will not cover the damages, and the city says it is not responsible for reimbursement of hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage.
When we invest our public money in development, we deserve clear, measurable public benefit that reflect not just the interests of a select few, but all of us.
We're taking the next year to talk with our members and neighbors about that and what their priorities are, to build our platform for what the public benefit in return for our public investment should be, and turn our members out to vote based on our priorities in November 2026.
We've gotten a taste of change and we want more. Will you join us?